I'm now joined by Michael Geoghegan. He's a political analyst. He joins me from Williams Lake at BC. Good afternoon to you, Michael.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
So we're just listening to Elizabeth May there. She's campaigning in Winnipeg today, talking about a number of issues. We know that she was really focusing on concerns with regards to meth and the opioid crisis there. And you heard her there talking about decriminalizing all illicit drugs, saying that, you know, we need to make sure that people are safe on the streets, they have somewhere safe to go, that law enforcement is able to sort of, do what their jobs and to help people. What are your thoughts on what she's saying here?
Well, there actually appears to have been a significant success in the country of Portugal that has actually gone down this route. There hasn't been a lot of media attention about it, but far from being a disaster, it seems to have actually had a significant impact in reducing the number of Portuguese that are addicted to hard drugs. So, you know, based on that information and that evidence, I think it's worthy of serious consideration.
She talked about a number of issues as well. In addition to that, was asked a number of questions as well. Climate change, of course, but another big topic that the Greens are sort of hard on. And she mentioned that with the UN summit that's happening on Monday, Canada is going to be one of the countries that's not going to be represented there. She talked about a campaign strike. That's something that she proposed in the House of Commons before the House was to rise. What are your thoughts on that and the fact that she's highlighting the fact that Canada is not going to be there, Canada's emissions aren't where they need to be, and of course pushing forward the Green Party's campaign to bring those that emissions at 60%, and of course eliminating fossil fuels?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of climate strikes or campaign strikes, I think when it comes to these sorts of actions, I think it's better at a grassroots level.
Mm-hmm.
I think what people are wanting to see from politicians and from governments is, what are the concrete steps, regulatory measures, tax incentives, what have you, that you're going to do to reduce the amount of CO2 we're pumping into the atmosphere. So, it comes across as a little gimmicky, but certainly, the activism we've seen the other day. It's showing that there's a growing awareness and a growing concern of where we're headed as a planet. So,
mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where I think at the political level, people are looking for concrete proposals and concrete actions more than, symbolic things.
Right. And we know that NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, he's also out on the campaign trail. Just Elizabeth May and Jagmeet Singh, we know they're out about. Liberal leader Justin Trudeau and Conservative leader Andrew Scheer taking the day off. Jagmeet Singh reiterating the pharmacare and dental care plan, caps on cell phones, et cetera, talking about really focusing on those Canadians who can't afford, regular dental care, access to drugs, et cetera, for their health care. Your thoughts on some of the plans that he's putting forward, because again, the intention that he's putting on his agenda has got everybody excited, but what people are also questioning is how it's all going to be paid for.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a situation where we're already, I think the latest deficit is $14 billion. So, any new spending proposal, you have to say, okay, what are you going to tax or what are you going to spend less on to afford this? But certainly, Canada is the only nation with universal healthcare coverage that does not include dental care. So some would argue that dental coverage as part of our healthcare is long overdue. And then obviously in terms of pharmacare, I mean, Canada does some smart things in the way we negotiate with pharmaceutical companies. We say, if you want to charge too much, you lose your patent protection in Canada. And certainly there are, however, an increasing number of Canadians that are struggling to make ends meet. So, some kind of national pharmacare program, I think, is actually warranted, as well as continuing to hold Big Pharma's feet to the fire so we don't see the kind of egregious price gouging in Canada that is going on in the United States.
Michael, before I let you go, latest analyst polls are showing the Conservatives ahead of the Liberals by a few points. We know both Liberal leader Justin Trudeau, Andrew Scheer, Conservative leader, both taking the day off today. Is not unusual, but the timing is quite interesting.
Well, I mean, obviously Trudeau is wanting to change the channel from the horrible public relations debacle in terms of the whole blackface scandal. So they quickly announced, some language around assault weapons bans and allowing cities to ban handguns. So him taking the day off, that's not a surprise. A little bit more surprised about Scheer. And at the same time, the NDP and Green leader out there campaigning, they're in a neck and neck race for third. So not too surprised that they're continuing. But obviously, the events of the last few days have taken some of the wind out of the Liberal sails, because in some polls they were starting to pull ahead. Now It looks like they're behind the eight ball again.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to see how those numbers are fluctuating, certainly as we continue day 11. My goodness, I'm losing count here, Michael. Tomorrow being day 12, and we'll be covering it for all of our viewers in great detail. Appreciate your time, Michael. Michael Geoghegan, political analyst.
Thank you.